I also need to add some chat commands. No, no, like commands like those. Yeah, actually, that's, yeah. Oh, stream link. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, I was like, stream links? What is that? Yet another streaming program? What's going on? is no audio. Oh, now there's audio. Now there's audio. Also, I think you guys are not. Welcome to the Scuff Zone. How do I add an audio source? Let me just quickly check. I need to add a default source. Audio, and I had such a cool intro. Man. Nobody knows.
We'll just ban them from chat.
All right. We should be able to hear everything now. There we go. Awesome. So, yes, welcome. Come one, come all to tonight's session of entertainment. We have a crew of dastardly scoundrels here with us. You saw everything. Yes, exactly.
Oh my god.
I watch and see. Oh.
So, yes. First off, Unborn Vessel. Congratulations on first. And Joe, thanks for the 3 months. Dang. Yes, and we should have commands, crew, and RPG to learn a little bit more about these fantastic players I have here with me, as well as the system that we are using tonight. Having said that, yeah, why don't we go on and have you guys introduce yourselves? Bebu, why don't you start off?
Hey there, my name's Bebu_Chan, your partner's favorite ugly bastard, and I absolutely adore tabletop RPGs. I've got history of playing Pathfinder, D&D 3.5, 5th edition, a lot of Powered by the Apocalypse, Fiasco. I've done a lot of DMing and GMing, and it's been forever since I've gotten to be a player. So I am so happy to be here.
Awesome. Lots of different games under the belt. That's good to hear. Not necessary, so don't be afraid if you don't have that. Soul.
All right. What's up? My name is Soul of the Internet, but you can just call me Soul. Your probably favorite and only Sun Devil VTuber, not like the creepy uncle Arizona State University mascot. I am my tabletop experience was in second year of college. I got introduced to D&D through 5e as a player for a few months, and then took over that game when the current GM left. And after that, got really interested in tabletop by doing a lot of homebrew systems and running one shots at parties. Actually, so I would request drinks and food for payment from my friends to throw one shot parties. And I did that for about 2 or 3 years. So it's been a while. It's been about 4 years actually since I've really sat down and done a tabletop session. So I'm excited to get back into it.
Wow. Okay. Joe.
What's going on, everybody? I'm your friendly neighborhood edgy boy, Arachno Joe, and I am the advocate to one of the most say-so and say-so cults this side of the internet, the Fallen Clan, and we would love for you to join us. As for me and my tabletop experience, I am relatively new. Me and a couple buddies of mine, like 4 years ago, really started getting into D&D Part 5, and we played for about 2 years, almost every single weekend, until something happened. And that's an interesting story I can tell one day. And we just stopped. Definitely would love to play more of it in the future. Looking forward to see and experience more games with everyone else. And hopefully we have a fantastic adventure all together.
Awesome. I also like how you call it D&D Part 5. that's just so fitting.
I mean,
It really is.
Edition 5, E5. It might as well be Part 5 on this point. It's like JoJo.
Yeah, all I'm saying is it's definitely better than part 5 of JoJo. So like we're already on the way up.
I haven't watched a lot of JoJo, so I really can't comment on anything.
That's okay. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'll have your opinions for you.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I got you.
All right, Kuma.
Hello everybody. I'm Kuma Chatka, or you can just call me Kuma. It's a lot easier for some people. As far as tabletop experience, this is my second game of D&D I've ever played, so be gentle.
All right. I was just gonna segue into that. But yeah, thank you all for introducing yourselves. I am Chichin. I hope most of you will know that. If not, that's perfectly okay. And I have been playing and running mostly RPG since I've been 12-ish, so more than 20 years now. All sorts of different systems. I've lost count how many, including this one, Blades in the Dark, which is the one we're playing tonight.
So we have a real GM here. A true GM.
I try. So
I was pretty professional at this point. That's like,
I
it's
know.
like I was like, I thought maybe like 5 or 6 was like, oh yeah, that's like kind of like you said. Okay, I've been at it since I was a wee lad, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
you know what's going on.
Chichin over here just flexing.
No, it's just no-lifing. I've been no-lifing RPGs. Literally.
You haven't been no-lifing. You've been many-lifing.
I've
Everybody else is only doing one, and you're just like, you know what? You're a bunch of losers. I've done 30, and I've won every single one of them. What have you done?
Yeah. I've won every
Chichin has just
RPG.
had 30 lives.
You've won every tabletop. If there's one thing you can do in tabletops, it's win.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we are playing Blades in the Dark. It is an RPG by John Harper, who's done a lot of very good smaller narrative RPGs such as Lady Blackbird, and I think Lasers and Feelings is also by him. I'm not 100% sure. Should have looked this up. But yeah, Blades in the Dark is based on another game called Apocalypse World, or Powered by the Apocalypse, which is the generic name for that kind of system. It is a bit more complex and a bit tighter in its design, and it is made for running a crew of scoundrels in a haunted Victorian city, trapped by lightning barriers, and to see how much criminal mischief these people can get into and if they will rise to criminal superstardom. All right. Any questions before we start?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm good.
Dive in.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, I see that Lily started lurking a long time ago. Thank you for the lurk, and hello, Jinxie. Let's go, indeed.
Hi, Jinx.
Yes, commit crime. All right, so Roll20 thankfully has everything integrated. So what I've done, hold on, I need to edit one of these characters so that Joe can actually
Just see it and edit it.
do something. There we go. All
I
right.
did the same thing when I DM'd. Don't worry.
No, because when I did this, Joe wasn't actually in the campaign yet, so I couldn't add him.
What?
All right. So all of you should have character sheets in your journal. If you go, okay, the Roll20 interface on the top right, you have a bunch of buttons for different things that might apply to the game. You have a chat, you have journal, settings, etc.
Bless you.
Thank you.
And yeah, you should have your journal, and all of you should be able to see everyone's character, but only edit your own. Is that the case? Can you see 5
I-
characters in your
I
journal?
haven't checked to see if I can.
I can
edit someone
see 5
else's,
characters,
but I
do see
know that
5
I can.
characters.
I can
and I can
edit my
edit
own.
my own.
Yeah, can only edit myself.
Okay.
I can't go to Bboos and be like delete.
Yeah. now, if you-
I can't edit. Wait, no, I can't edit. I'm dumb. Never mind.
Alright, so
Did you try clicking it?
I tried hitting edit, which then I remembered that in Roll20
my
you have to
God.
actually like click on the thing in Roll20 to edit it.
yeah.
If you click edit from like the main thing, it'll just be like, "You want to change your name?"
All right. So open up the test character that I have here, Testy McTestface. And I will just guide you through it. It looks relatively complex, but what this has is a bunch of just notes, right? A bunch of gameplay helps, like just short lists and information of things that is good for, like that's good to have during gameplay.
Oh, actually, I can't see the details.
Yeah, I only
of-
see bio.
I
info.
see the character, but it's not showing me like the actual sheet for.
Can you
Testy
see?
McTestface.
Go over to character sheets. There's a character sheet next to bio and info.
No, it's only showing the bio and info.
Yeah,
It's
it
only
just
showing
says
that
bio.
tab?
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Oh.
'Cause I
Yeah, you'll
I
have to-
I have character sheet.
Yeah, you'll have to like
Okay.
hit edit on the sheet, and it'll be like can be viewed and modified by blah blah
Okay.
blah and blah blah blah.
Oh, okay. Can be edited and controlled by. Okay. So maybe
Easy
this
fix.
will work now.
Oh, yeah, it's loading. I think I got the little 20 die loading thing, the icon. Yeah, it's just taking a second.
Yeah.
There we go. Now I can see it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, Roll20. Part of this is just gonna be dealing with Roll20. I haven't used this platform in years. Oh my goodness, it's been years.
It's gotten slightly better.
Yeah, it keeps improving bit by bit, but I like this because it has like Blades in the Dark just completely integrated, like 100% everything's in here. So that's
Oh yeah, and it's much
Amazing.
easier than using like an automated PDF
yeah.
because those things always throw errors.
Okay. So this is
Soul, I just closed it and opened it again, and it's not loading anymore. It's actually showing me it.
Yeah, can everyone see it?
Oh, I was muted. Yeah, no, I saw it. I just closed it and opened it
Yeah.
again. Yeah, like
Okay.
you mentioned, Bebu. Yeah, I
Swag.
got it working earlier.
Awesome. So, Blades in the Dark, you play a scoundrel. And I will say right away, you might not want to get too attached to the character.
Oh, great.
Oh,
Not because like characters die left and right. That's not this type of game, but mainly because there's various ways of characters exiting and entering play. You can get thrown in prison, you can overindulge in your vice and just get lost for like a week or two in game. You can be working on a long-term project, you can just be doing whatever. And sometimes it's interesting to have other members join the crew, also played by you, and just have them also deal with the underworld and all of the various factions of the city, etc., and bring in their own connections and their own tools. So that's what I mean. It's not like super lethal. Even though your character might die if things go really, really wrong. But there are ways to mitigate this in play generally. Yeah, so you have a bunch of just basic info, right? The crew name, the character name, how they look. You have heritage, which is where they come from. Background, which is what kind of job they have. Hey, Arido, welcome. It's nice to have you here. I hope you are excited for some scoundreling.
Oh, what's up, Doey?
Welcome, welcome.
Or was I? Yeah, and then very importantly, you have a vice. A vice is your hopefully death. Your vice is basically what keeps you grounded in a sense, right? You deal with all these stressful missions and scores and dealing with lots of other gangs, and then you just have to indulge in your vice every now and then. It's just a thing. And then, yeah, on the right side, you basically have the part that would get used the most. It's kind of covered up maybe by the whole playbook text box. So your playbook is your general identity. And you can see maybe that there's a text box where you enter. It's kind of like a character class, not really. It's much broader than that. But you have cutters, hounds, leeches, lurks, slides, spiders, and whispers. There are a couple more for if your character should die, they can become a ghost or a vampire if you want to, right? So even then there are options. But the most common ones are the first few. And then you just pick one of those. Let me just enter cutter for now. And then you have your action dots. Right, you have 3 stats: insight, prowess, resolve, and then 12 different actions. And these are like 90% of the time, if you're making a roll, you are using either one of those stats or one of the actions. Right, so this is where you will be spending most of your time mechanically finagling around. And let me just see, because there is quite a bit to explain. Let me just see the best order. Yeah. So to help you guys think a bit about what kind of a character you might want to play, first off, keep in mind that you are playing in a crew. Right, so you are going to pick a type of crew. You are going to be working together on scores, and so you might want to, you don't have to, but you might want to have a character that kind of sort of fits the theme. Doesn't have to fit it mechanically, that's the beautiful thing, but with the background information, right, with your personality and such. So there will also be a crew character sheet, which I have forgotten to make, but I will create that once we get to it. Alright, so there are 7 character types, 7 playbooks. There's the cutter. Cutters are thugs, right, the physical type, good at winning fights with violence and intimidation. There are hounds. Hounds are good at tracking and long-distance combat, right? Setting up a sniper perch, tracking people, sneaking around. Well, not necessarily sneaking around, but like shadowing people and such. Leeches. Leeches are good at alchemy and wrecking things with sabotage, crafting things, right? Being creative. Lurks. Lurks are the sneaking around people, right, and breaking into places. Your typical thief, really. Slides are the social people, the faces, the social manipulators, and people who deceive or use guile. Spiders are masterminds. They are very good at having connections, or planning things, planning scores, planning the downtime, building up a bunch of like utility and support for the rest of the crew. And then whispers are the magical dudes, right? Good with magical stuff and dealing with ghosts, right? And just in general bringing in some magic, because there is magic in this game. It's very weird magic. It's based on ghosts and demons. But yeah, that's the Whisper's job. So any initial thoughts on what you might want to play? And you can double up or so. There's no restriction because characters, even with the same playbook, can be very, very different.
Can you repeat what the cutter and the hound do real fast?
So Cutter is the dude who cuts people. Right? The sorry. The thug. The violent physical thug.
Does that mean the hound is a really big dog?
Behaves like a really big dog. Behaves like a bloodhound.
Okay.
Right? Tracks people or like sets ambushes and things like that. Right. Like a hunting dog.
What you're saying is the leech is also the small little thing that just sucks people's blood.
Yes, and then does something with that blood, like make a bomb out of it or trap ghosts in it or something.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I think out of all of them, the two that kind of like caught my attention personally were either the hound or the slide.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm definitely thinking the cutter.
Why am I not surprised?
Oh, don't worry. I already got a whole guy in my brain. Don't worry. He's great.
Awesome.
If it's not ugly bastard, I'm just gonna leave the campaign.
I hate to break it to you. I can't always be an ugly bastard. There's more to me than that, Joe.
Well, I'm sorry, guys. That's the end of the collab. It's a great time to end it.
But yeah, maybe like ideas will come in once I say more about the game, right? It's just like building ideas as we go. There is a bit more to this. And that's why we're all here together, because crew and character creation should be a group activity. Hydrate, yes, okay, thank you. Good point. I have not been drinking enough for the amount I'm talking right now. So, water time.
Yes, we should all hydrate too, right?
Yes.
Oh my god, we're all drinking water together. It's like we're already a crew.
I'm not gonna lie. I have Dr. Pepper on my
We
desk.
them hydration boys.
I
I'm
need to get
drinking
some
Coke
water.
Zero. So.
It's okay. I'm drinking Mountain Dew Zero.
Oh no! Anyway, so he said, "Oh, we're drinking water." I feel like Kyoko might have just like turned over in the grave. Actually,
That was
We're
my
drinking-
first move as
we're
a scoundrel.
drinking water. Yeah.
Are you saying VTubers are all a lie?
What?
How?
They aren't real?
What?
What? Oh my gosh!
Oh,
No,
you
the
mean-
anime in my computer has to be real.
I'm not an anime boy on the internet.
No.
Well, my life has just been torn to pieces.
Well,
I am a
you're-
real boy.
Real boy. Oh shit.
All right. Okay. All right, now that we're all hydrated, hopefully, yeah, these actions, stats and actions, the part that you will use the most. There are 12 actions, and they are relatively self-explanatory once you understand the context of like these are all things you might want to do or you might have a chance to do while on a mission on a score, right? A criminal score. So, but I'm going to go through them real quick, and maybe that will also get some ideas flowing. So, the 3 stats are basically just used to resist bad things, resist harm, resist consequences, and so on. All right, so you have insight, which is anything that deals with the senses, being deceived, etc. Prowess is physical stuff, and resolve is your mental fortitude. Right? Should be pretty clear. Then the actions. Hunt is basically what the hound does, right? It's tracking people, it's shooting people from far away, it's setting up ambushes, right? Just hunting for someone. Then you have study, which is looking at something intently, like a single person or a single item or so, and trying to see what's up with it, right? Is this person hiding something? Does this item have any identifying marks? In this painting, is there some hidden code in this painting, right? If you're trying to open a vault door or whatever, that's where you use study. Survey is the broad observation, right? You might survey an entire room to see, okay, what's the general mood here? Or do I spot people who look like they belong to a certain gang? Or you might survey a vault and see, okay, what's the most valuable item in here, right? So focused observation versus broad observation. And then tinker is crafting, lock picking, mixing potions, bombs, blah, all things that have to do with items, crafting items or mechanics and devices and such. Finesse is about dexterity, and like adroitness, basically just being able to use grace to dexterous manipulation or subtle misdirection to get something. And it includes things like dueling someone or sleight of hand, or things like that. Prowl is movement, any sort of movement, right? Sneaking, climbing, running, balancing, etc. All of that is prowl. Skirmish is fighting in close quarters, and not necessarily melee fighting, right? You can use guns, you can use whatever, as long as it's like in a skirmish, in a close quarter fight. That's when you use that. And then wreck is just break stuff or break people, either one, right? Whatever works. Then you have attune. Attune is attuning to the ghost field in the city. So this is the magical action, right? Consorting with ghosts, dealing with anything magical, understanding a ritual that you're observing, anything like that is attune. And then you have 3 social actions. Command is an authoritative presence, right? You can literally command people to do something or intimidate them, right? By having the authority to, or displaying the authority to intimidate them. Consort is hanging out with friends or contacts, building rapport, having like a friendly meetup. And sway is using guile and sweet words and such to get people to do what you want. All right. Any questions so far?
So, sway would be like more charming, where wreck would be more intimidating.
No, command is intimidating.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
Wreck is literally like, this person has 300 bones. After I'm done, he will have 310.
Okay. Gotcha.
Right.
All right. That makes sense.
Okay.
So, wreck is like the sledgehammer, dynamite action. All right, and yeah, that's basically it. Your chosen playbook defines. It gives you 1 action at 2 dots and 1 action at 1 dot, and it gives you a bunch of special abilities that you can see on the left further down. And these are really the things that make playbooks different, right? They're just small bonuses here and there that help you become better at certain types of tasks, but that doesn't mean that you're bad at other tasks, right? That's also the beautiful thing. You can develop your character in any direction. You can play a cutter who's also really sneaky. You can play a slide who's really good at wrecking stuff, right? Because I don't know, he's been captured often enough that he's thought, like, I don't know, blowing stuff up with a shotgun is not bad. You can play a whisper who is also really, really good at consorting people with people, right? Anything. There's no real limit to how you develop your character. So right now on this cutter page, you can see there's things like Battleborn, where you get special armor. You can have Bodyguard, where you can protect a teammate. Ghost Fighter, where you're better at fighting ghosts. Leader, where you can command a small group of thugs. Mule, where you're able to carry more items, right? Maybe a bigger weapon and such, etc., etc. And every playbook has different ones, but they all fit the same basic theme, right? Even though here you can see the theme is relatively broad. So the cutter is fighting, yes, but also just physical strength and intimidating presence, right? And so on. But yeah, that's basically what the playbooks do. Before we get too far into detail on creating the characters, though, I just wanted to say something quickly about the crews, because that also determines what direction the game will take. And so you choose a crew type, and the crew behaves a lot like an additional character that everyone is contributing to. And which is why there will be a can I actually make a crew sheet?
So, question. So it's like a guild that acts sort of as its own character that we all contribute to, I guess, or like kind of can interact with, or is it like an actual like tangible like character, or is it more of like a faction?
It's not a tangible. Well, mechanically speaking, yes, it is its own thing. Yeah. Right, it has its own sheet, it has its own stats and abilities.
But it's not a person.
It's not a person. No.
It's more like it's like an entity.
Yeah. Is it I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, but is it like we are on the Millennium Falcon and the crew is the Millennium Falcon in concept, where it's like,
yeah,
oh, when you say Millennium Falcon, you mean Han Solo, the big brown hairy guy, the princess, and the brother of the princess that wants to give her big kisses.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yes, my favorite character.
So you might have like
Mr. Kisser.
I don't know, Rebel Misfits as the crew, right? Millennium Misfits or something. And they might have special abilities as a crew. Or special contacts with other factions, like they're allied with the rebels, but they're at war with their empire, and so on, right?
Gotcha.
I don't know where to create a crew sheet. Why do I not know where to create a crew sheet? I'm probably gonna end up creating like 12 characters. And it's like, what is happening? I know creating crew sheets is possible because I had this. Character handout? Is it a handout? No, it's not a handout. Is it a folder? No, it's not a folder. Huh.
I'm checking. So it looks like everyone, at least on the Reddit, is just making a character sheet, which doesn't seem like the best way to do it.
So it's just a character sheet for everyone?
Yeah, it's like the DM is in control of it, but we can see it.
Oh, Oh, okay. I just found it. I found it. It is a character sheet, but I have to enter a crew mode.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I was like character mode, and then I can click on it. It's crew mode. Okay, let me delete a couple of these. I don't need them anymore. I don't need you anymore. Okay, so Chuba crew. Let's go with that first. And then can be in players' journals, and then can be edited by all players. Character sheet crew mode. There we go. Okay, you should now have a crew sheet in your journal as well.
Aha.
Hey.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so same as characters, crews also have a playbook or crew type that kind of says, all right, we are interested in running this kind of a game. We are interested in mainly having these kinds of adventures. Again, it's not a restriction. Nothing in this game is a restriction. Your characters will grow organically as the game goes on. The game is designed to facilitate that. But it does say we are more interested in having this kind of a crew, or in this kind of a interaction with the world, and this kind of this kind of gameplay. So you have 6 different types of crews. Assassins, pretty self-explanatory, I think. Bravos, who are thugs and mercenaries who just fight people for money, or destroy things for money. You have a cult, which is a like quasi-religious cult that runs like that worships a forgotten god.
So VTuber Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so VTuber Twitter.
You have hawkers who deal with all sorts of illegal substances or materials. Doesn't just have to be drugs. Could be like, I don't know, weapons or anything that people might not want, openly sold or traded. Shadows, thieves and spies, right? All the sneaky types again. And then smugglers. You transport goods or people through the city unseen, or even out of or into the city unseen, which is much more dangerous, but maybe much more lucrative. So it might probably be best to, think of a crew type right now. And same as a character, a crew also gets special abilities and such. So that also helps you with going after certain types of scores, right? But it doesn't mean you cannot do other things. This is as the game develops, right? This is a very living game.
So it's not like if we picked hawkers, we wouldn't be able to like get a job to go assassinate somebody.
Exactly, right? Maybe
Gotcha. We would just have like different abilities that would be more focused towards hawking, but we would be able to like think about how to use them in an assassination.
Sure, yes, exactly.
Okay.
So maybe there's a rival gang that's selling the same stuff you guys are, and it's like, okay, we need to take them out the hard way, and then sure, you can do that.
I'm not gonna lie, gamers, I absolutely love the idea of being hawkers. But obviously I'm open to hear what everybody else is into. That's the one that immediately stuck out to me.
Okay, I'm just trying to I'm reviewing all of the.
Soul, you're very quiet.
Oh, sorry. Hello.
Yeah. I can.
I'm reviewing all of the. Yeah, I could get around to that. Yeah, because I mean that's like. I think I'm definitely biased towards that because one of the 2 character archetypes that I was interested in, or at least seeing someone else play like in tandem, was like the slide, and I thought that would fit
Hmm.
that. But yeah, I'm curious what other people are drawn to and why.
Let me see here. I'll look through each one.
Yeah. So, yeah, assassins, bravos, cult, hawkers, shadow smugglers. If you do see this help box, there is another type, vigilantes, but that's like an expansion, and probably a little bit more complex because you're fighting against the criminal underworld, which is like a completely
I'm
different
gonna
thing.
vote we avoid that one.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
it's gonna be
I've
very
never
hard.
I've never done this system. I'm good.
Yeah,
It's gonna be very hard to fight the criminals if we're not the
I
criminals.
noticed. Yeah, I noticed you didn't say anything about it, so I'm like,
Yeah, I just saw it's in that box. It's not in the base book that I have. Like, I actually have the physical book in front of me right now.
Oh,
Hell yeah, I love
Wow.
supporting the author.
And it's not, so it must be either the special edition or an additional document, like an expansion or something.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I don't actually know how they play.
Is there anything that people heard that they absolutely do not want to play?
Good question.
Ooh, that's a little tougher. Actually, that's a tough question.
honestly, I'm kind of fine with doing like any one of them. 'Cause I think we could do something with all of them and make it actually pretty good.
It seems that it's well thought out. It seems like it's well fleshed out enough that, like, with any of them, that it doesn't really.
I think the biggest question is here for this group is, are we gonna do it like a somewhat serious game where we're gonna completely go balls to the wall and just make something completely stupid?
That's
I
a
for
very
one
good question.
planned on taking this a bit more seriously, leaning into the role playing.
Okay.
I'm
It's not to say that like I'm gonna be like, no, you're not allowed to have fun. What do
Yeah,
you mean
yeah,
your
yeah.
character likes ice
do-
cream?
You
but-
want to
no,
take
but,
it
like,
these
yeah.
like actual like we're role playing, we're playing the game. Not too much like complete silliness.
Yeah, you don't
So-
want it to just be so much
Yeah,
like
yeah.
goofing off that we just kind of
So-
like flop.
Yeah,
I think-
yeah.
I think
And-
what he's looking for is semi-serious roleplay, which is
Uh,
you're not taking
yeah.
yourself too serious, but
Yeah,
then you're
yeah.
not taking yourself, too relaxed either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Semi-serious.
We're gonna have a good time,
uh,
but serious enough to like actually be able to play the game system without just feeling like we're flopping and not making any progress.
to
Yeah,
talking
exactly.
to talk in Gaia online terms, semi-lit,
Oh, no.
open, what is it? Victorian era, magical ghost scoundrel RP.
What is going on?
Want to shout
my
out to all my
God.
people that role played on Gaia Online. You were in the pits. You know
Gosh.
how bad it got.
Oh, the angel and the demon.
Angel and
Weird.
Demon boarding school. Every slots room.
What?
Now those were some crazy times, let me tell you.
Shout out all my Gmod role players.
Hey, I'm just gonna like say eyes emoji FF14, and then that's like, yeah. I just I'm gonna go crawl. I'm gonna crawl in my corner now. Yeah.
Shout out to all my cat boys and
nobody-
Olga.
Nobody asked if I roleplay in that game.
Because the reason why I brought that question up was because if we wanted to do something completely just stupid, I like the idea of like the cult, but it's just like VTubers. That's it.
Well, I would.
We fucking all worship Nyanners.
Exactly. We could choose like V shoujo in general.
So like, I would say like just because one character is serious, it doesn't mean all of our characters need to be very serious people.
Yeah, I mean,
'Cause, like, I think-
this can be silly-ish.
We can all think of like people in our personal lives that are like very serious, I work hard, and then there's like my buddy Trevor, who is a goblin and only lives off bologna and Gatorade and milk. Like, he's no matter how he's a real person, but he's not like Bill Nye. He's not a serious dude.
Yeah, like how the individual characters fit into this, that's up to you. And a character can be strange and silly. Right? I think it's more the gameplay. When we're actually playing, we're not trying to just create chaos and just, I don't know, blow up every second NPC that you see or something like that.
No
There
murder
does
hoboing.
need to be a bit like a middle ground
Yeah.
for it, though, I'd say.
Yeah. Oh, and murder in the city in general is not easy because of something, and this is a bit of background, because of the death crows. So, because when someone dies, their spirit becomes a ghost, and these ghosts are usually not friendly. No one wants ghosts in the city, so when someone dies, there is a crematorium that has a magical bell, and that rings when it detects someone dying in the city, and then crows fly up and start circling the place where that person died. And then the group that runs the crematorium will come very quickly to pick up the body, and if whoever did the dying thing is not quick enough to get away, they'll find them as well.
Oh, hell yeah. How quick does a ghost become a ghost after someone kills it? I know this is not about the crew, but I'm just interested.
It depends, I think. Sometimes it's immediately. Sometimes it might take a while.
And then, can ghosts die again? Like, can they be permanently, like, banished?
It can be destroyed and banished, yes, but it takes specialized equipment or specialized magic.
Okay, because is it a viable threat for someone to say, I'm gonna kill you, and then I'm gonna kill you again?
In a sense, yeah, though most people don't really know if ghosts are the same. Like, if you die and become a ghost, if it's like, oh, I'm a ghost now and I remember my complete past life and things like that. So
Okay.
that's, people don't really talk to ghosts. They know they exist because there's a huge lightning wall around the entire city that's keeping out all of the ghosts. A lightning wall, by the way, which is powered by demon blood. So, just because funsies.
Okay.
But yeah, they don't really interact with ghosts because interacting with ghosts is usually not healthy.
What happens if, like, you turn into a ghost?
If you turn into a ghost, you pick up the ghost playbook. Exactly.
Gotcha.
So even if your scoundrel dies, they don't have to be away for good. If you say, no, I really like this character, I want to keep playing, you can become a ghost and then play as a ghost character and see where that leads.
All right.
Sounds good.
Has anybody developed any further strong feelings about the crew type?
I'd have to say I'm gonna go with Hawkers.
Yeah, same, honestly.
I think it's pretty well-rounded in my opinion.
I think we've all pretty much. I think we all clung to that one, and it's versatile enough that like we can spread out the character types. I think.
We could do a lot with Hawkers.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems versatile. I think personally.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Awesome. All right. So I have now updated the sheet to Hawkers. And you can see now a bunch of stuff got added. You have on the left, oh my god, what is up with my throat? On the left you have a map of claims that you can have, right? So this is, you start with your lair, in the center, and then you can start trying to take over different claims, which give you different bonuses. But you actually have to go and grab them from another gang, because all of the city of Doskvol is divided between all sorts of gangs and factions and such, so nothing is free. If you want something, you have to take it away from someone else. Then you have a couple of crew upgrades, right? Lair upgrades, quality upgrades, and so on. Right now, you have a secure lair, which means your lair has, if you click on the little triangle, you can like open and close a short description of each thing. So your lair has locks, alarms, traps to thwart intruders, right? So that just means if someone comes knocking at your door, you're more secure than other gangs. And you have resolve training, which means if you spend downtime training your resolve, you get double the effect instead of, like, you get 2 XP of advancement instead of just 1.
Okay.
Right. Oh. Did someone just...
I did. Don't worry about it. I accidentally switched it. It's back to crew mode. It never happened. It does it for everyone.
Oh no, I hit the button.
And then each crew also has a bunch of special abilities, right? Silver Tongues, Accord, the Good Stuff, Ghost Market, etc., etc., which also give you, like I said, some bonuses that exactly that are geared toward the types of activities hawkers would usually go for. All right. We can actually do this in either order. We can do the entire crew first, or we can now hop back to characters, create all the characters first, or we can just mix and match however, right? Because both should be created in tandem, and the ideas from one might feed into ideas for another, etc. So it's your choice. We can finish the crew, or not finish, but like get more of the crew done for now, at least background wise, or we can hop over to characters so that all of you so it's basically, do you want to have a crew as a framework to see what kind of characters you want to put in there, or do you want your characters and then see how you can match the crew to them?
I think doing our characters and seeing how we can match the crew to best optimize that would be the right course.
Okay.
Agreed.
Sure.
I'm good with that.
Awesome. Then, yeah. What did I just close? Testy McTestface is now also a crew. Faction mode, character mode, right. Yeah, then go ahead, open your character sheets. Your individual ones. You should be able to change the names at some point. But for now, let's go with what kind of a character you want to play. And if you don't know what playbook you want to pick or anything mechanical, you can just kind of say some ideas or what kind of an image you have in mind, and then we can just bounce ideas off of everyone and see what we come up with.
Sweet. I am more than happy to take up backseat and then like see where other people are going and kind of mold. I like to hear what other people already have in mind if they do have stuff preemptively, and then kind of adjust a little bit on the fly with like some of the predetermined ideas I have in my head.
Okay. Anyone already have a relatively clear image?
I think Bebu said he did.
Yeah.
I do. I definitely do. I want to play a cutter.
Okay.
Kind of think like a mob enforcer.
Mm-hmm. Company man.
Yeah, company man only cares about the job. He doesn't want to know about your wife. He doesn't want to know about your kids. He wants to get this job in and then get out, go home.
Okay.
He's just doing this. It's his career. He's not putting his emotions into this. He's putting his effort into this.
Right. It's like when someone says, "I have a family," he's like, "I don't care."
I don't care. Nothing personal.
Nothing personal, kid.
Yeah.
Exactly. Money is money.
Awesome. Okay, then go ahead and put all that into your sheet. Anyone else have any ideas, or are you like deciding between maybe two or three things?
I have like a rough idea in mind for maybe a character that like kind of a concept for a character that would be a hound,
Mm-hmm.
where his kind of I wanted to think about maybe like something that could be a flaw that would be interesting, and maybe could serve as an advantage, but maybe more of a double-edged sword, like a hound that tries to kind of have that attitude that is very okay. No, it's just work. Okay, keep it serious and whatever else, but has uh, a horribly uncontrollable bloodlust for sniping people. Like he gets like just completely tunnel visioned when it comes to like that like ranged setup and doing that kind of like that kind of like that kind of work where he just like gets so into it that it's almost that it could cause problems if he doesn't like keep that in check.
Okay. That can be put in. Let me see where it is on the sheet. It's not. It doesn't have a dedicated spot in the sheet, but you can also use the notes section, and this is actually something you should do for your character as part of the creation at some point, or later in the game once you have a clearer idea who that character is every character has drives and beliefs, and these drives and beliefs can change in the course of the game as you get more like as they go through their character arc, right? You have different drives, beliefs, etc. And it gives you mechanical, like it doesn't give you like bonus dice or anything, but if you do express your drives and beliefs in play, you get experience, essentially, right? So it's useful to have these things defined. It's not necessary if you can't think of anything right away, but if you already have something, you can put that in there. And thank you for the redeem on board vessel.
Okay, that is good to know, because I did not. I figured that like even if the system didn't, that based on how we'd been talking about it, with it being like, you know, like maybe like 70-30 in terms of like RP, and then like making it like a little bit lighthearted, that that you were probably going to incorporate that in some way. But the fact that it's like it's rewarded actually in the system is really cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it is a minor thing. Like it only comes up at the end of a session when you distribute XP.
Okay.
And another thing that I can talk about right now, it's not going to come up for some time right away, but it is something that is most likely going to affect your characters at some point, and that is you have this stress counter right at the top right underneath all of your background info. And stress is essentially the resource you can burn to get through all of the troubles of a score, right? If something doesn't go well, you burn some stress, and it turns out, oh wait, you just by the skin of your teeth managed to make it not as bad, right? Maybe it looks like something was about to break your leg, but then you take stress instead trying to avoid it, and it's just a sprained ankle instead of a broken leg, right? Things like that. Or you can use stress to push yourself to get better effects, or to do better at a certain action, etc. And when your stress fills up completely, you get a trauma. And you can see there's different ones. There's cold, haunted, obsessed, paranoid, reckless, soft, unstable, vicious, right? They're relatively broad, so you can kind of fine-tune them and detail them as you wish for your character. But that's also something like at some point your character will develop a trauma or two, or even 3 or 4. Once they get 4, they are so traumatized that they can no longer go on any missions. That's it. They are just, I don't know, sleeping in their closet the whole time. But yeah, that is also something that will lead to some character growth, and maybe you already have in mind, oh yeah, the first trauma I take is going to be, I don't know, vicious, right? Something like that, because that's the kind of character I have in mind. So that's also something to help with that. And again,
I had a quick question actually about the character sheets in terms of who is able to view which ones. So it is, just so I'm clear on it, it is intentional that we cannot view other people's character sheets, because I guess that would maybe get kind of metagamey.
Actually,
I was just curious.
I mean, we can figure that out right now. There is nothing wrong with metagaming. The game itself, it is very, very narrative, but the way you interact with the mechanics of the game is very... Some people might call it metagaming, like it's something completely different from D&D, where the mechanics themselves are kind of a mystery to the player, right? A lot of stuff is GM facing and not player facing. Whereas in this game, it's basically playing openly.
Okay, so it's like open book, and we are the intent is for us to have free reign and kind of manipulate the mechanics to
exactly
to achieve like the in quotes desired outcome, but still do so like in a role playing like a narrative fashion.
Yes, because the game mechanics facilitate like you build up some sort of narrative situation, and then the mechanics at some point when you want to do something, right, the mechanics say, yo, now it's time for me to step in, and then you resolve it, and then they say, okay, and now the narrative should go in this direction, right? And it's very precise, or it's precise enough to actually give you a narrative drive to go on. It's not like in D&D where it's just like pass fail, right? I want to pick this lock, okay, pass fail, and then after that the mechanics are like, yo, now you do what you want, see ya. You know, it's like I picked the lock, okay, fine, you don't know what's behind that door because the mechanics don't tell you. But in this game it's like, oh, I want to pick the lock, okay, and then you roll the mechanics, you roll the dice, and then mechanics say, okay, you pick the lock, but there was an alarm or something like that, right? So they do give you that. It's like tons of tiny little writing prompts that the mechanics give you.
So a lot more nuance than just yes or no. It's like there's added nuance that like makes it a little more interesting to engage with than just yes, no.
Yes, exactly. And that does mean there is a lot of just establishing the situation to make sure the mechanics are actually doing what you want them to do. It becomes very, very clear once we've done like 2 or 3 rolls, right? And then you'll see what actually happens. It sounds very abstract now, especially if you're coming from a more old school traditional RPG background, but it'll become very, very clear very quickly as soon as we do as soon as we start our first score, basically. Right, character ideas. I think that's where we were.
So I'm thinking lurk. An older, kind of just throwing ideas at myself, throwing them around.
Yeah, sure.
As far as backstory, give me a little bit of time.
Yeah, you don't have to like figure out a backstory or something complex. Just a handful of keywords just to guide you or give you an idea is more than enough.
Yeah, one of my pieces, because you said it was like your second time doing like any kind of like tabletop stuff. My best piece of advice is like whenever I was doing like characters or had to like even make a bunch of like NPCs and things like that for like campaigns and things like that. I think like one thing that like your character excels at, one thing that's like a flaw, and then like maybe 2 or 3 like general like character traits is just like a good basis, and you don't have to like pressure yourself to feel like you need to come up with like a drawn out like backstory that would fit in like a novel right away, because a lot of that kind of just happens organically, like as the story goes on. You can kind of flesh it out as you go.
Yeah, exactly. And it might take a couple of sessions to really feel out your character and see, oh, who is this actually, right? And how do they fit into the world? And
I've been there. That's like
yeah,
like half of the characters I've played as a player, it like took a couple of sessions for me to be like, okay, I can kind of see where this is going now.
Yeah, I had a character once where I found my character's voice like in the second to last session of the adventure that we were playing.
Oh my god.
So it's like, oh hey, yeah, I finally know who this is. But then everyone was shocked. So that was a good moment. But yeah, don't worry about it. And like I said, this game does give you a lot through play to just have your character grow and develop and to introduce situations, right? That's what I mean when I say this is a narrative system. It gives you the prompts, and it gives you a lot of help in crafting the narrative, in crafting the characters, story wise, right? So it's not like you have, again, comparing to D&D because most people know D&D. It's not like in D&D where you basically just have, oh, these are some mechanical points here, and this is how you murder orcs most effectively, and then everything else is just offloaded onto the player. This is not the case. Like, if you interact with the mechanics, if you interact with the game, your character will naturally come out, just because the game facilitates that and supports you in that. So don't worry about it too much in the beginning. And this is also, like, you will grow unevenly. Some people might get a bit more XP in one session, some people might get a bit more in another session. That's perfectly okay, because this is completely cooperative, and characters might switch in and out and be at different competency levels, etc. And like, your stats matter much less than your creativity and just the flow of the story. So again, don't worry about that. All right. Yeah, any other ideas? Like, if you don't know what to pick, again, you can just kind of think aloud, and then we can all put our heads together and see what we can come up with. So right now we have a company man, like an emotionless company man. We have a sniper who's ignorant to his bloodlust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
Any other ideas? And like I said, you can double up. You can pick, someone else can also still pick Cutter or Hound or so. That's perfectly okay. Or you can try to make something else. So there's still leeches, right, who craft things. There's lurks, the sneaky dudes, slides, the social manipulators, spiders, the masterminds in the background, and whispers, the arcane people.
I guess to like give more ideas of like just where my character, like the things I'm going in with, like background immediately. If I'm basically a mob guy, I'm hitting underworld, obviously. The like flaws and beliefs that I have for him right now are Jimmy's anger gets the best of him sometimes, even when it leads to trouble. He believes that personal connections have no place in business, for better or for worse. Jimmy believes in his gods and will not stand for those who tarnish their name. So, like, the believing in their gods thing, I was just looking at the vices, and I was like, oh, faith is one?
Yeah.
That's an interesting choice. Okay. You never really think of people having their religion as, like, a vice.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I forgot to mention the vices. So your vice is how you deal with stress, right? You indulge your vice to take off stress. That's how you refill your stress bar. It's not without danger, because indulging your vice is it's still indulging in some sort of stupefying or some sort of obsessive behavior.
Okay, so it basically it's a double-edged sword in the sense that it comes with advantages, but it also has risks.
Exactly. You can overindulge in your vice, for instance.
Do we pick one of those as a main? Okay.
So faith, faith would really be like you go to. There is some. Hold on. Let me check. There are colorful descriptions for these.
So, like, the thing I was thinking with faith is because I'm going hard and heavy with, like, the 1920s, specifically, like, 18 to 22 rum runner, bootlegger idea. So you've got the stereotypical, like, I killed a man, but I love Mother Mary. That kind of stuff.
Yes.
Oh,
so,
okay.
like, for Jimmy's, like, overindulgence in, like, having to balance his faith with the truly violent person he is, what I'm thinking is it's like, okay, his violence causes him to bring in money. Well, his guilt is going to make him be like, I got to give everything back to the church. I got to give everything back to the church.
Oh, okay.
Or even, sorry, I feel extremely guilty. My pastor, father, Jimothy, whatever his name is, told me I need to be less violent. So, like, on the next job, I'm like, I can't do that. No, I can't punch that guy right now.
For reference, if anybody, I don't know, the descriptions of those devices are on the 7th page of that cheat sheet that you gave us.
Okay.
Yeah, I just found that.
So yeah,
like the little descriptions.
Yeah, but I can just read them out real quick. Faith, you're dedicated to some sort of unseen power or forgotten god or ancestor, right? It doesn't have to be church faith, and there's no real church. There's just a bunch of forgotten gods. There's no real state religion in that sense. Because a little bit about the setting, maybe that will also bring some ideas. So you are playing in a city called Doskvol. And some time ago, the cataclysm happened, because of course every good world needs a cataclysm. And what basically happened is that the sun exploded, and all the oceans turned inky black, and ghosts started appearing all over the place. And that led to a lot of chaos and a lot of not good time. When was this? About 850 years ago in the timeline, right? And So in the meantime, there were a lot of wars, a lot of refugees, a lot of various things happening, and basically the solution that was found now by the immortal emperor, who is actually an immortal emperor, is that you build huge lightning towers around all the cities, and they have electricity, like lightning sparking between them, because ghosts do not interact well with electricity. And these towers are powered by the blood of demonic immortal leviathans out in the void sea that has been refined into electroplasm. And yeah, so you're all trapped in this city because going out of the lightning barriers is A, really, really difficult, and B, a really, really bad idea. Because outside is where all the ghosts are that want nothing more than have a body again. Doesn't matter if it's still occupied. And so it's a Victorian era-esque haunted city that's kind of like London / Venice, right? Lots of canals, lots of like vertical building, right? If you've ever seen like old Victorian London images of that, like narrow alleys and very relatively tall buildings, lots of bridges and canals and underground sewer things, etc. And yeah, lots of strange magic happening, lots of strange technology happening as well. And basically everyone who doesn't want to be used by the nobles to work in factories or work in the eeleries to farm eels is a criminal, because that's the only other way to kind of get a good life.
Cheechin?
Yeah.
What do you mean by arm eels?
Farm eels.
Farm eels. Okay. Okay.
Oh.
I was gonna be
Sorry.
like,
I must have cut out slightly. Yeah, farm.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
I think this is, yeah, that definitely gave me some more context. And I was already kind of like based on whatever character I kind of already had drafted up, and then it kind of coincidentally worked out enough that it served as maybe like a like an opposite almost, not an opposite, but maybe it served to kind of contrast what Bebu was talking about with how he's drafting his character, or how he has like that idea in his head already, where I'm thinking with mine with that the bloodlust thing, like he's not the mine isn't so much the I want to get this work done and be done with this. It's like he's like almost and that's why I'm leaning towards maybe having pleasure be the vice, is that he like gets like gratification from this, like he gets like gratification from his work, as well as just like all of those other like the various things listed from like lovers, food, drink, drugs, whatever else, art, like is kind of overindulgent in that, but is maybe not so aware of the effect that that has on his how he holds himself like in the setting.
Okay. Sure.
Right, so I'm thinking, yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Lurk. More of a, somebody for hire, like an assassin, I guess, type deal. Definitely indulges in the finer things in life.
Okay.
As far as vice, like luxury. That's what he spends his money on. That's what he's out here to get.
Very good. Okay. I think that leaves Joe.
Can you actually explain the other vices?
Okay, yes. So the vices are relatively broad, and you can define them and like detail them however you want.
Yeah.
Faith, right, dedicated to some sort of unseen power, a demon maybe, or a forgotten god, a cult, etc. Gambling is really just, games of chance or betting, etc. Luxury is anything that is ostentatious, like big meals, or I don't know, buying fancy clothing, or I don't know, big dinner parties for rich people, right? Whatever there might be, buying jewelry, etc. Obligation is devoted to a family or cause, right? So you are also part of another whatever kind of organization, and you're like, no, I also need to help out there. And it's a vice in the sense that it grounds you and distracts you from your scoundrel work, right? So it's a vice from the point of view of being a scoundrel, right? It's kind of like, oh yeah, you're a mob boss hitman, but every Sunday you work at a soup kitchen and so on, right? That might be an obligation. The vice, that thing. Right, kind of like that idea. Pleasure is really just indulging in the finer things. So, like, as it says here, lovers or food, drink, drugs, art, theater. You can do like, yeah, no, there's a new gallery opening at the museum. I have to go there because art is my life, or something, right? It can also be like that. Stupor is basically just getting high in one way or another, right? Drugs, drinking, or here, like, getting beaten to a pulp in the fighting pits. You know, just anything where you don't have to feel anymore, right, is also stupor. And then weird is just a catch-all for whatever. You might be partake in strange rituals. You might be part of a cult where ghosts just temporarily possess you just to see how it feels. You might be following strange things like, I don't know, cutting birds into strange origami shapes or whatever, right? That's the weird vice.
Okay, gotcha. Yes, I think I have an idea. Honestly, I think Whisper would be pretty fun to do.
Okay.
Even though like Cutter would also seem a lot of fun. I'm like, you know what? I think Whisper might be interesting to try out.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe also have a little tinkering into Spider as well because of support.
Yeah, that's another thing. At some point, like when you pick special abilities, all the way at the bottom, you should be able to see Veteran. Choose a special ability from another source. Right, so you can pick a special ability from another playbook. So that's one way you can branch out as well.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, like I said, you're not forced into one specific niche. You can just kind of develop in whatever path you want to go.
And we're not really stuck within the holy trinity of tank, DPS, healer.
Oh god, no. No, you're
Yeah,
not.
we're all just some gamers out there on those mean streets.
Yeah. And I mean, you can pick whatever actions to develop, right? And really, it's much more about the teamwork and the type of scores you go on and how you want to approach these scores, right? If all of you suck at sneaking, then okay, yeah, sure, you're probably not going to do thievery scores. You're just not going to. And then all of you sucking at sneaking is not going to come up as often, right? Just as an example. Right, so yeah, so put in your playbook into your character sheet, and then you have heritage and background. So your background is pretty obvious, right? That's the job or the life you had before entering the criminal world. even though you can always have been part of the underworld, as it says right there. So you have academic, labor, law, trade, military, noble, or underworld. Pick one and detail it however you want. If you have any questions, then go ahead and ask.
Could you explain the pretty much just I guess just go through it.
Okay,
so
yeah,
we
sure.
have just so we have the right idea.
So
pretty much.
yeah, so academic is literally anyone who works with or at one of the universities in the city. There's like the navigation school or an actual university there as well, like, or a scholar, right? Professor or student, philosopher would all be academic. Labor is physical labor in any sort. You're a servant, factory worker, a coach driver, or a sailor, etc. All right, anyone who does blue collar work. Law is an advocate or barrister, or a blue coat, which is the local police force, or an inspector, which is like the FBI-ish, like they do more of the investigative things, right? So anything with law or law enforcement. Trade is money, right? A shopkeeper, a merchant, craftsperson, right? Shipping agent, etc. Anything of that. Military, right? You were in some sort of military in some position. A soldier, mercenary, intelligence operative, a training instructor, anything like that. Noble, you come from some sort of noble background, from one of the noble houses. Dilettante, or maybe someone working at a noble house, like a courtier, or not working at, but like kind of just being there in a noble background. Scion of a fallen house. And then underworld is you never really had a quote-unquote proper job. You lived on the streets, so a street urchin, a gang member, a thug, outcast, etc. Things like that. And
then what about the heritage? Are those
Yes.
specific cities like?
yes, so the heritage is where you come from. Let me actually see if I can find a good map of the world, so just so you have a slightly better idea. Blades in the dark. Let me see how I can search for this. Oh, this is a tiny image. Essentially, you play in a part of the world called the Shattered Isles. Yes, and it's a bunch of islands, as the name implies, that were relatively spared from the cataclysm. Relatively meaning not everyone died. And this is a tiny image, but it's the best one I can find. Okay.
If you can, link that in like the Discord.
Yes. Let me see. Where is it? Also, I just figured
Which city
out
are we in?
Doskvol.
Doskvol? Okay.
It's on the main island, Akaros. It's the northernmost city. So you get the heritage is basically culture and political affiliation-ish.
I found a like super high res version of it.
Awesome.
I linked it in the Discord.
Ooh.
Oh, Lee, why did my alert not go off?
OMG, hello Lee.
Because I don't have alerts. Hello, Lee.
Hey, lovely.
There we go.
You
Now
must
it goes.
gather your party before venturing forth.
Hi. How are you doing? I forgot to set up everything. This is what happens when you do things last minute. How was 999? I'm assuming that's what you played. Let me actually give you a shout out. Yeah. How was
That's
999?
what they were playing.
Everyone died again? Aw. Well, I guess you're eliminating all of those endings and then working your way through those, I guess. But yeah, thank you very much for the raid. Hold on, I think I need to transition real quick. Yeah, okay, now the alert should be active. This is what happens when you set up everything last second.
Don't worry, this is what I'm used to. This is what I thrive in.
This is the scuff. Welcome to the scuff side. But yeah, hopefully this, well, seeing some scoundrels beat up some street thugs and selling drugs is gonna be a bit better than. Where were we? Heritage, yes. So your heritage is really just, you don't have to know a lot about the culture or so you don't have to delve deeply into it. It's more about general attitudes, both of you toward the city of Doskvol as well as of the city of Doskvol toward you, right? It's much more about that. So you have Akaros, which is the main island you're playing on. It's the industrialized land. It's the seat of the Imperium. It's where Doskvol itself is located, which is the capital city, by the way. And a lot of different cultures have grown together, kind of like Europe, right? A lot of cultures in close proximity, and there's a lot of like interchange of cultures going on and such. So metropolitan-ish. Then there's the Dagger Isles. So the Dagger Isles are tiny islands where a lot of people just become sailors and don't really have a home other than their ship, and we're just wandering the world and have seen some shit in their lives, basically.
Do you want to bring the map up on stream?
Oh yeah, do you have the
I linked it in the Discord. In the call. Yeah, it's massive.
Hold on. Oh, this is the. Oh no, that's the Doskvol map. That's the city map.
Oh god, this is just one city.
Yeah, this
Oh,
is just
God.
one city. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Exactly. I will bring this up on stream real quick. Let me see how I do that. I think I added to handout.
Okay, then I think I have.
I do have a Doskvol map though, so don't worry. Shattered Isles. In players' journals, all.
I'm not gonna lie. You keep saying Duskwall, and I keep thinking if you're gonna say Dungwall from Dishonored.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. This map is kind of small. It's the best one I could find, sadly.
So you're looking for the one with like Arkaros and Skolven. We'll see.
Yeah.
I think I found.
What's oh my goodness, what is happening? Mouse?
That should be a bigger version of that.
My mouse is going nuts. Hold on. It's clicking.
Oh
when
my
it's
god,
not-
it's the ghosts!
Oh no. Oh,
The ghost
this is
have
a
come.
much nicer one. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
It is, by the way, from another game by the same dude called Ghostlines.
Oh.
Okay,
Man,
so this
that's
is
being
like
smart.
so they like really they get kind of into the whole like haunting ghost like setting thing. Like they like to incorporate haunted aspects into a lot of their stuff,
Yeah,
or at least a couple.
because, like I said, anything outside of the cities is mouse image. Where are you? is full of ghosts, so you can't just be there out in the open, right? So what happens is you have these trains, these rails that run with trains that are specifically protected against the ghosts. And the Ghost Lines game is where you play someone on this train helping to defend the train against ghosts.
Ooh, nice.
Right.
I actually
that's
like that
dope.
idea. That just sounds pretty cool.
But okay, I don't know why the game is doing this, or the thing. Okay, it's probably because I had two sheets open and Roll20 was just freaking out and didn't know what to do.
It does love to do that.
Okay, so yes, the islands. So Akaros, the big island in the center, right, with Doskvol all the way in the north. That's the one city you're in. Yeah, metropolitan-ish Europe. Then you have the Dagger Isles in the south, this tiny little group of islands. That's basically because they're so small, there are no cities there, so people there just live on trading ships or hunting ships, like essentially whaling ships, and just travel all over the place and are relatively rootless. There's Iruvia all the way in the south, which is quote-unquote like the foreign exotic land. Right, it's a powerful desert kingdom, kind of like Persia or Egypt or India, so rooted in its own culture, but also like not the quote-unquote primitives, right? From the view of others.
So it's not like the like late 1800s fetishization of Egypt.
No.
Okay.
It's I mean, this is really just for these like old Persia or Egypt or India. This is for us to kind of get a very quick understanding of, okay, how could I play this character, right? These are not set in stone. Like, you can take this where you want, and it's much more just about how do you interpret these cultures. And really, it's very open, and I'm completely open to, I want to play an Iruvian, or I want to play someone from Severos, but I want to incorporate this aspect. It's like, okay, yeah, sure. This is our game, right? I'm not gonna treat this book as the Bible or anything and say, no, you cannot because the book says this. No, screw that. We're playing this game. This is our stuff. If you want to say, in Iruvia we all live in pyramids, like, okay, sure, why not? Then you have Severos, which is the quote-unquote primitive people, right? The wild.
Oh my god!
Right, they roam the land. They don't really live in. They live in old, leftover arcane cities that don't have lightning barriers, but still expel the ghosts somehow. So it's like the mysterious horse people, savages, wild savages,
Okay, so like Mongolian
Huns.
horde.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, or like the what are they called from Dune? Oh God, I can't remember. The people who live in the desert from Dune.
I'm not that familiar with Dune.
Or the people beyond the wall in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
or the people beyond the wastes in Wheel of Time.
Yeah, exactly. That kind of, like, we know they're there. We know they do stuff and live, but
you don't know that much. They're not like integrated so much into like high society, and they're kind of far out to a point where like a lot of people don't know much about them. So they're
exactly,
kind of like they're kind of in their own contained like bubble.
Yeah. Exactly.
So is it the kind of way where like the greater, like, let's say Arkaros would look on Cerberus and be like, oh, well, they don't really know what culture is, even though Cerberus does have its own culture? Is it the kind of thing where there is definitely a like refusal to learn of it, or is it more of just a there's that much of a like marked difference between the cultures, if that makes sense.
I would say more the former.
Okay.
Because like this is based on Victorian era, and it's like, oh, the British Empire is like the best thing
Gotcha.
the world has ever seen. You know, we're God's gift to the world. We're the Queen's gift to the world. And
For Queen and country.
yeah, exactly. And it's like, oh, those savages in Indochina are like, yeah, we must bring culture to these people. You know, that it might be that kind of deal. Of course, individuals may vary, but the greater attitude is definitely that several people are like, oh, you don't live in cities? Oh my god, you're just nomads? What are you? So I would say that's more the attitude. And it's much more about like, how do you want to be viewed in the world, and how, or not the world, but how do you want to be viewed in Doskvol, and how do you want to view Doskvol, right? That's much more what's going on here. So these cultures are just basic. They are relatively stereotypical and very like Cliff Notesy, because you can fill out all the details yourself. It's more about the general attitudes right now. What's left? Skovlin, although in the north, is the marginalized culture, marginalized group. So when there was the big war of unity with Akaros and the Empire just trying to take over all of the Shattered Isles, Skovlin was the last holdout, essentially. Like, they were, no, we don't want to join the Empire. No, we're fighting a war against you to not join the Empire. And then King and Queen got assassinated at some point, and then Skovlin, or Akaros and the Imperium was just like, ah ha ha, you're ours now. And so there are a lot of Skovlin refugees in Doskvol. They're definitely like the marginalized group. They're kind of like sticking to their own, and like they're not treated well by a lot of people in Akaros and such. So that's that kind of idea for this culture. And then Tykeros is the weird culture. That's why it's not even on the map. It's so far away, it's still connected, but it's not really on the map. And it's like kind of sort of mythical, and people don't really know what Tykeros is, and like the people there are said to have demon blood in their veins, and they all look kind of different. Like, they have strange characteristics that make them a little bit inhuman, right? Like, maybe they have horns, or maybe they have completely black eyes, or maybe they have feathers instead of hair, right? And it's all individual. So if you see someone from Tykeros, you know they're from Tykeros, and you know, okay, something magical is happening here, or maybe something demonic is happening here, but people don't really know what is actually going on. Except
Basically,
maybe for
it's
the Tykerosi.
Twitch the island.
The what?
It's Twitch the island.
Yes, it's the Chuba Island. Exactly. So yeah, you can be someone from the homeland, you can be someone from another great country, you can be a rootless wanderer, you can be a wild primitive barbarian, you can be a marginalized minority, you can be a weird character. That's basically very, very general, broad strokes. All right, what is going on?
So if we had to pick somewhere to be, basically Sicily, Italy, where would it be? Would it be like in Skovlin? I want to say it like Scotland. In Skovlin?
Skovlin. Sicily. I mean, Sicily is. It depends. Like, Sicily was pretty well integrated, right? Into like the greater Christian Europe thing of that time, I guess. But it's I mean, it's like, are you just from a far-flung corner but still part of the same general culture, or are you actually like? Oh, are you talking about modern day Sicily?
Well,
Or like,
so
or
definitely going more off of just the idea of just playing a mobster man.
like, right.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like the idea is so far for my boy Jimmy Tedesco is that he is from a what they call themselves a family, but they are from somewhere else, and he's part of the people that are in Doskvol working there, but kind of like first generation Italian American.
Okay. Yeah, the Scotland might work. Because it's like, yeah, we care for our own, we stick together, right? All of us Sicilian Italians, we form our own families in spite of the country around us.
Cool.
Yeah, Scotland would definitely work. Or
Hell yeah.
Scotland.
I think kind of the direction after just kind of getting like a general sense of all of them that I might want to have mine be from Akaros, but have him be one of the people that is not as divisive from like I want him to be someone that's maybe sympathetic of the situation that you mentioned of like the history of Scotland would be interesting.
Sure.
So like someone that maybe doesn't, it's a little more because, and correct me if I'm wrong, if I missed a beat, but like Akaros is a little more like closed off, like kind of, or they're a little more like with the whole like they specifically don't get along very well, or they look down upon like Scotland typically, or like that's the general atmosphere.
Well, the idea is more now everything is part of the Imperium. So Akaros is kind of like imperialist European powers.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I kind of want maybe. Yeah, I think I'm looking at like having my character be from there, but not necessarily agree with that like super imperialistic image and sympathizing specifically with Scotland and maybe other instances where like the Isles that are like that became part of the like that sort of empire and not having that discriminatory viewpoint.
Yeah, what makes sense because you're not part of the ruling class that enjoys the benefits of imperialism, right? So that would probably play into that.
Question.
Okay.
So like, what would you say that the time period would this take place?
Victorian era-ish, so strange,
okay,
steampunky, right? Like horror-ish, ghost-haunted, steampunky era, basically.
So are we talking like still single shot pistols, or are we talking like okay, all right, so like rockin' derringers, we're not yet up to the Smith & Wesson repeating rifle?
No.
Okay.
Definitely not.
Okay.
Yeah, though there's a lot of weird tech going on, right? Because of all the arcane stuff floating around, so you might have like the Whisper, for instance. If you look at the Whisper, everyone gets special items to wield, and so the Whisper has a lightning hook, which is a two-handed pole, and it can generate electricity to capture ghosts, right? So you can
hell
have
yeah.
that. So you no longer have gas lamps, it's all electricity. That's normal. There are factories, like actual full factories, so industrial revolution is taken off. There are steel ships, instead of wooden ships, that kind of idea.
Okay.
So this is kind of like electric punk
Yeah.
in a way. Like it'd be not more like steam punk. It'd be like electric.
Yeah.
punk.
True.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, if you don't completely know what you want your character to be, like where you want them to be from or what kind of a background you have, it's okay. You know, just kind of mull it about for a bit. You don't have to decide right now. And if you find that something doesn't quite work for your character, like you want to change the background, or it's like, oh, can I shift this one action dot from here to there? It's like, yeah, sure. I'm not like none of this is ironclad in any way. I'd rather you guys have fun and enjoy playing the character rather than thinking, oh no, I built this dude wrong or something. It's
Gotcha.
We're all here to have fun.
We're here to be gamers, not
Exactly.
lamers.
Oh my god.
There you go, guys. There's a
Not
number
wrong.
one Babu quote. You save that one. Boom.
I'll
Pop that out
frame
in your
I'll,
next work
I'll
meeting.
frame that on my wall. I'll frame that on my wall when I move.
Frame that on your
I'll do-
Doskvol.
I'll send you. Oh my
Oh
god.
my gosh.
Oh no. Oh. Yeah, I gotta get that one down and then put that on
Can
my
we-
wall when
can
I
we
move. I'll
vote
send
the-
pictures.
Can we vote the GM off of the ship, please?
Oh my god.
I think the shrine has spoken.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, let's keep moving for a little bit. So yeah, these again, if you don't know what you want to pick right now, in terms of any of the options, don't worry, right? Again, like I said, you might not feel your character right now until you've played them in like 1 or 2 sessions, right? So that's perfectly normal and that's perfectly fine. But some of the like a little more critical stuff is the actual mechanical things. So mainly the action dots. You start with 3 dots already distributed depending on your playbook, and you get 4 more to distribute. Right. The rulebook suggests that you pick 1 dot that kind of represents your heritage, 1 dot that kind of represents your background. You can do that. You can amend that later on once you've like solidified on, yes, I want to play a military background or so. It's like, and I want to play skirmish because of that or whatever, right? We can negotiate that out later on. But you get 4 dots to distribute. In the beginning, no ability may be higher than 2. Right?
Okay.
So the one ability where you already have 2 is maxed out right now. Quick word on how the stats work inside Prowess Resolve. You see that line that separates the first dot from the rest? Basically, the stats you count vertically. So if you have, say, at least one in Hunt, at least 1 in Study, at least 1 in Tinker, that gives you Insight 3.
Oh.
Right.
Okay.
So the actions are horizontally, and then the stats are vertically. The first dot in every related action adds to that stat. So you can specialize, or you can kind of become a bit more spread out, but then you are like, it's kind of like, are you good at certain specific actions, or are you good at preventing consequences because you're not good at a lot of actions in a sense? Right.
So
yeah.
let's say like using poison right? Would that be tinker because I would make poison, or would that be like finesse because I stealthily put it in somebody's drink?
That depends on the situation. That depends
Okay.
on what exactly you're doing in the moment. It can be anything. It could even be skirmish if you coat a blade in poison. It could be hunt if you're trying to backstab someone with the poison. It could be, I don't know, command if you're trying to make someone drink the poison on their own, right? It could be anything, right? Like that. And that's the beauty of these actions. They are relatively broad. They overlap slightly. All of that is by design, and it depends on on the situation itself, which one you might pick.
Okay.
So go ahead, distribute the 4 dots. If you are unsure of anything, just ask.
And I can put
so-
like 2 dots into one thing right now?
Yes.
Or okay,
So-
I just can't go beyond 2 in one.
Yeah, you cannot go beyond 2.
Okay. So, and then just like so I'm clear with these, like you've talked about, like what, like how they all function briefly already, but based on character type, like you're gonna have certain advantages or no?
Not really. Like,
Or is this kind of just like a general game mechanic where like you can distribute it however you want regardless of
Yes.
your playbook? Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Thank you.
The advantages that come from your playbook are in your special abilities.
Okay.
So some
and then
special
with that, how many of those are we allotted? Like how
one
are we
at the
allowed?
start. You get one.
Okay,
special
one at the
ability
start.
Yeah.
But then you progress, and I'm assuming you can maybe unlock another change. Okay.
Yeah, you unlock more. You get more dots as the game progresses. You get more special abilities as the game progresses. So don't worry. Right, this is really just the starting version.
You go over the go over them again, like the hunts. Actually, never mind. I just realized you can highlight them.
Oh.
If you
you just hover over them.
If you hover over. Okay, nice. All right then. Never mind.
Yeah, that's super useful. And also the cheat sheet has short descriptions on them as well. What page is it? Page, they're not numbered. Page 9. Yep, page 9 has a slight reference of what you can potentially do with all of the various actions.
So you said 4 points in the in insight, prowess, and resolve, and that's for all of those like together. Like you can put 4 spread out through all of that, or it's 4 for each category.
No. You have 4 in total.
In total, okay,
Yeah.
thank you. And you can double up on 1 if you would like.
Well, you can also double up on 2. Like you can distribute them
okay.
however you want. You could just not exceed 2 right now.
Yeah.
So,
but
like,
we do get more of these later?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, my breakdown with good old Jimmy Tedesco right now is just due to the fact that, like, he's got that good old anger issue. He's got 2 points in direct because 1, he was already an enforcer. So he's already used to, like, oh, I'm going to break your legs. But he's just gone off the deep end enough that he's gotten better at breaking things. He's got finesse because you need to be able to like handle a baseball bat well enough that when the guy grabs it, you can pull it back and it doesn't fall out of your hands.
Mm-hmm.
He's got survey because you need to be able to walk into a room and tell, okay, where are the exits? Who's going to come at me? Does that guy have a gun? Does that guy have a knife?
Mm-hmm.
So on and so forth.
Yeah.
And that's how
Okay.
I distributed my points.
Okay. If you're done with the points, then yeah, look at the special abilities as well.
That's what I'm looking at right now.
So if you have 4 points, so you have 4, you only have 4 of them you can use. So that means there should be
7 total.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, thank you.
3 were already distributed, and then you get 4 more. Yeah, so 7.
How about special abilities? How many do we get on
You
those?
get 1 to start with.
Gotcha. Okay.
And they're ordered that if you don't know what you should pick, if you just have no idea what fits, you can just go with the first one, because that one is the first one for a reason.
Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, because like my first idea, definitely I saw the term ghost fighter and I was like, man, I hate Ghost. I'd love to punch the hell out of Ghost. But then I had to think about it and I'm like, what are the likelihood that the first thing we're going to do is be like, all right, guys, we got to go smuggle ghosts. Maybe not. Maybe that one should be something Jimmy decides later on.
I mean, again, depends. Maybe you're smuggling or distributing things that have to do with ghosts, you know. So,
Oh shit, ghost juice.
yeah, electroplasm is the term used in the world.
I saw something with like you imbue your item to fight ghosts or something like that. What if you imbue your fists?
Yeah, you can.
It says that, yeah. Ghost
yeah,
Fighter says you imbue your hands. Yeah, just punching ghosts. I'll finally be able to do what I wanted to do in Phasmophobia.
We get one special ability, correct?
Yeah, a single one for now.
I think for Jimmy, I'm definitely gonna take Bodyguard, which is when you protect a teammate, take +1d or +1d to your resistance roll. When you gather info to anticipate possible threats in the current situation, you get +1 effect. And my thought behind that is, due to being an enforcer, he was definitely having to be the guy who's like, all right, the important person is going somewhere. If they get hurt, you die. So he's real good at making sure people don't get hit and he gets hit instead.
Okay. Joe, I'm seeing like your character sheet might be bugged. You have the special abilities of both the Cutter and the Whisper on there for some reason.
For the Cutter and the Whisper.
Did you possibly put Whisper in to see what their skills are, or Cutter in to see what their skills are, and then switch to the other one?
I did, yeah, because I did have Cutter, but then I switched it back to Whisper using the gear icon.
Okay.
HTML got angry.
Yeah. Also, you don't need to pick equipment right now. Like, that is completely unnecessary.
Gotcha. Okay.
You pick equipment when you need it.
Oh, okay. So we don't really like start off.
Yeah. You don't even pick when you start a mission. You don't even pick what gear you have.
Oh,
You
okay.
literally
like-
pick it in the moment when you need it.
Do you want to run
and
us
see,
through?
Cheechin, where you are right now? I'm looking on the stream. Yeah, that's where I did it. That's where I changed it.
Yeah.
But if you scroll down a little bit, it says planning and load, and it kind of tells you, just based on, I guess, the mission.
Yes.
You choose your load limit for the, whatever mission you're going for.
Exactly. So before you start a mission, you pick your load: light load, normal load, heavy load. That's all the way on the top of the items.
Okay.
And that's how many items you have for the mission.
Cheechin, could you walk us through what like the typical phase or like the overview of picking a job, going towards a job, doing the job, and then after the job, just like what it will be like, so we
Yeah.
have like a better idea of that.
Yeah. So you just start out. So the game is actually explicitly split into phases. You get free play where you just do stuff, right? Exist in the world, and talk about, okay, what did we do? What do we want to do? What do we want to plan, etc. And then you start planning the score, and that's like, what do you want to do? Whom do you want to hit? Where do you want to go? What do you want to achieve? And so on. And then you don't have to plan it in detail at all. You shouldn't actually plan it in detail because that takes a lot of time but doesn't do anything for you, right? So instead, all you're saying is, where do we want to go? What do we want to achieve, right? The very basic stuff. And then you make what's called an engagement roll. That's on the crew sheet. There's an engagement roll, and that basically says, okay, what's your starting situation? Right? Is it a good situation? Is it a bad situation where you start out in? Then you just do the score, which is run like any adventure, basically, right? You say what you want to do, I say what happens, we roll some dice, etc. And then at the end, if you succeed, you get your payout. You get some heat for the crew, right? You might get some rep for the crew. You might get money, and so on, depending on what exactly you wanted. You might claim a new piece of turf for your gang or anything, and you get like entanglements, like consequences with other factions from your score that happened because of that. So there's a lot of faction game in there as well, right? Other factions will not ignore you. Some will be friendly, some will be unfriendly. You might piss some off because you did a score and then they were like, hey, that's our turf, or hey, that's like, we wanted to do that, and then something happens, right? They come and try and beat the shit out of you for doing that. And then after all that is done, after all the payoff and such is done, you go into downtime, which is an explicit phase. And in downtime, you can do things like work on long-term projects, try to reduce heat for your crew, try to heal yourself, recruit gangs, right? Like underlings for you, try to forge new contacts, whatever, right? Anything that's not actively being on a score is downtime, and downtime lasts however long it needs to last in game time, right? Typically like a week or two. And then once that is done, we go back into free play. It's like, oh yeah, okay, what did we learn? What did we do? What did we gain? What do we want to do now? And then the whole thing just continues and repeats.
Hell yeah. Thank you.
Okay, I'm trying to see if I can do something to Joe's character sheet.
You want me to like refresh the page and see if that'll work?
I don't know if I'm able to go extra XP condition.
At this point, would it be worth just like opening a new sheet and just copying
Yeah.
the stuff that's on there right now?
Yeah, I think.
Roger.
Yeah, I'll just create a new sheet for you. Let me rename this one to old. Right, and then let me know what's up. Yeah, this website is
Just because it's the best thing we have doesn't mean it's the best thing.
Yeah.
I know, right?
All right, there should be a new Joe's character now.
All right.
How are the others?
Okay, I
doing?
just did it, and let me know if it looks good.
Yep. You have the standard list of whisper abilities now.
All right then.
Opening up a lot of character sheets here. All right.
Be careful. Roll20 might get mad at you.
I've done this before. It's all good.
Jichin's really just just GMing by himself.
Oh, Roll20 is not liking this. Okay, anyway. All right. Looks like Bebu is mostly done. This Kuma is also looks done for now. And yeah, you're free to add as much detail as you want and is helpful for you in anything, right? In your background, in your vice, in your notes, in your whatever, right? To help you with playing that character. Oh, hold on, Joe. You have 3 points in a tune. That is illegal.
You broke the law.
Yeah, we can do 2, right? Or is it?
No. The not you can put 2 into there. It's the maximum is 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now I understand.
Yeah.
Now I understand. Gotcha. So like this one part, the one on the left of the line, that's the one.
Yeah. That already counts.
Okay,
as one.
gotcha.
Yeah. And welcome back. Is it Doey?
Yeah, it's Doey.
Doey? Okay. Welcome back, and yay being full. I see Joe is going the full specialized route.
I'm looking through my notes.
Yep, no problem.
Yep. Okay, so does that look good or?
Now you only have 4 points. Wait, what?
So you get 4 points alongside the 3 that come from your class
Yes.
or your playbook.
So
can only
as
So you
a
have the
maximum
total
of-
7.
So as
can
a
only have-
whisper, you have 1 in study and 2 in attune to start off, and then you get an additional 4 points to put anywhere you want.
Okay, so
But no
I
skill can have over 4.
2.
Gotcha. Okay.
Can I have
So I
more
can
than
still
2?
do this and this then, right?
1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Exactly.
Okay, making sure. Okay, gotcha. Let me read her the notes again.
Okay, and then sorry, I was following a good chunk for items. You said that is
Yeah. So
what are the limits for that again?
the items, you do not pick them until you need them in the moment.
Okay, so that's a mid-game thing.
Yes, exactly. These items are really just, you have specialized items from your playbook, and then there are suggestions for common items a scoundrel might need. But you're free to just have any other common sense gear, right? That you could have packed. The only thing you pick before going on a score is your load. Do you have light load, normal load, or heavy load? Right.
Okay, and that affects my movement.
For one, it affects your movement, and also
the inventory space, I guess.
Yes. So the number is the number of items you can have, and it also affects how you look. Right. If you have light load, that's not so many items, so you can kind of hide them in a jacket or in a boot or something, or you just have a dagger because Doskvol is dangerous. If you're normal, it's like, okay, people kind of know this person is a criminal, is doing something. And if you have heavy load, it's like, yeah, okay, this dude's on a mission. Either we stay away from him or we intercept because we can see they're up to something. Right. So that also affects if people notice you or not.
And you said I do pick that now.
No.
No. We pick that like
related to
when we're deployed.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. So and then I was looking at a lot of it and kind of thinking about what to put in for some of this and considering, and I zoned out a little bit.
So it's like the thing. Imagine we're all in GTA 5.
Yeah, no,
They all can wear body armor and shit.
Yeah.
But
I
then
I was asking about what all absolutely needs to be filled out. So like the background thing.
Okay. Yeah. So your basic background info, right? All the text box lines there. Your action points, right? You get 7 in total. So you still have 3 to put somewhere, and then your special abilities, and that's it. You still get an ally and an enemy.
You said the actions are where?
The actions.
That's like your finesse prowess and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I've got points in that.
Yeah. So you, as a hound, you start out with 1 in survey and 2 in hunt, right? And you get an additional 4 points.
Oh, okay. I messed up with that because it did that for me, and then I went, oh, I have to redistribute it and only have 4. Oh, okay.
Yeah. No. But again, you can only have a maximum of 2.
Oh, I can only have a max of 2 current. Okay.
Yes. Exactly.
Okay. So these 3 count, and then I can do 1, and now I have 3 left.
Yes, exactly.
But I can't go over to. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I okay. I thought I understood. Not.
All right.
Yeah, it's kind of like the left side is like this is the start.
Yeah, this is the first
start of the yeah. That's what I think. That might be why it's separated by like that line.
It's separated by the line because that's the one that counts toward counts toward the stat. So you now have 2 points in insight because you have 2 first points in insight actions, and 1 point in resolve because you have 1 point in a resolve action, which is sway.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, it's a bit unusual to organize it this way, but
And then
But it makes a lot of sense when you're playing.
yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much easier everything flows than like D&D or
Yeah.
any like even GURPS.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of subsystems to this game, but everything just runs on the same basic system. Just like once you know how the roles work, once you know how numbers work, and every single subsystem is the same number mechanic, it just affects different portions of the game, which is really, really beautiful. Oh yeah, the load, think of the load as kind of like, are you bringing like a messenger bag, are you bringing a backpack, or are you really bringing like a big, I don't know what you call them, like a big suitcase, duffel bag, that thing, right? And then until you actually open it and reach inside, it's Schrodinger's bag. And then when you suddenly need something, it's like, oh no, I've been surprised by these two bodyguards, I need to fight them. Then you reach into your bag and pull out a blade or two. And then boom, you have blades. And then you mark that, and that counts as one of your load items. Right? So that's the idea of how to think of your load and your inventory.
Like a bag of holding, almost.
Yeah, kind of. Right. Sol, you do get one more point in your actions.
Oh, okay. Oops. Finesse was just a brief. Let me find that in the.
Like, yeah, sleight of hands.
Okay. I think I will do.
Or like handle a vehicle or mount. That might not come up very often, but you know, it's the same basic
Then actually.
motor skills, fine motor skills, and such.
Yeah, so I've got that, and then I'm just trying to. I can't think of a last name for this guy.
Does he have a last name?
Yeah, I guess I might think of it later, and then I'm trying to figure out a good alias based on this
Alias.
alias. Is that how, is there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, alias.
Oh, okay.
But...
Yeah, I can see how you'd read that if you've never like heard people say it.
I have, but I didn't know that there was one way or the other, the same way that what's like another word that people say two different ways, but there's like frequently.
Tomato, tomato, potato, potato.
Caramel,
caramel. Yeah, it's like caramel and caramel. Like a lot of people are. Oh, people say herb. I don't like that.
Right,
I think that's how Babu just felt when I said.
Wait, you don't like people who say herb?
Herb instead of herb, isn't it? Herb?
Oh my God.
Like you don't pronounce the H, do you?
I'm so sorry for you. You can never go to your motherland of England. They call them herbs.
I'm not British. Oh my God.
Nah, you're a little bit British.
I'm not.
That's why I was like,
you both were
like
waiting.
he knew. It's like he knew like Okoros, the seat of the Imperium, right? The capital. Of course, Britman would choose the capital.
I'm not British. I'm
not a British.
I'm not.
Oh no.
I'm not a British.
All right. I think before we completely lose ourselves in character creation, like I said, there's like any minor details or like personality traits, etc. You can think about that. Maybe you get some awesome ideas between now and next session. Now that you actually know what you're playing. There's still some finishing touches, but
20 minutes because I had like the 3 hour because I have to go in 20.
Yeah. Well, how long do you have?
Until 9.
Until 9. Okay. Yeah. So I want to move on to finishing the crew.
Yeah.
Which is the other big shared character essentially. So you should all be able to see the crew sheet. And the crew functions similarly, right? So you get We have a type. You have you have stronghold. I don't know why it's not showing up on the sheet, why it's not strong and weak. But yeah, so essentially you have your lair and you have your tier, which right now is 0, and you have a stronghold over your lair, right? You just secured it, it's yours, no one is messing with you right now. And then you have the upgrades. Like I said, you have a secure lair and you have resolve training, maybe like, I don't know, a meditation room or whatever. You can detail that out however you want. And you get several things. A name, right? You get a reputation, which is how other crews and gangs, etc. in the world see you, or how they view you, what they've heard of you. So you can be like ambitious or brutal or daring, honorable, professional, savvy, subtle, strange, or anything else that think fits your crew, like your crew's personality essentially. And then you get 2 more upgrades for your crew and 1 special ability for the crew. Right, so the crew also has special abilities. Some of the crew upgrades and some of the character upgrades as well, when you look at your character sheet, have connected boxes. So that means these things only take effect once all the boxes are filled. You don't have to fill them all at once, you can go step by step, but they won't do anything until all of them are filled. Right, so that's like the composed and the mastery all the way in the bottom does that. Let me just see real quick. Establish your... yeah, that's also something. I don't know how long that will take because that dives a little bit about into the setting. But yeah, the things that are right here, 2 crew upgrades of any sort, either specialized for hawkers, lair upgrades, training, quality, etc. Or, yeah, 2 of those and 1 special ability.
And then the crew upgrades can be like the ones that came from the hawkers and then also the ones that are below it.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And you can also have cohorts as an upgrade. So it's either a small gang being like 2 people of underlings that do your bidding, or a single expert of whatever sort. I don't know, like a chemist or a doctor or a fixer or whatever else you might want. That's also 1 available type of upgrade that you can pick. So have a look at those. And if you have any questions about them,
what might round out what we have? Are we? You said that we are kind of allowed to. It's like encouraged in the system to kind of metagame a little bit and like,
yeah,
maybe see like what talk with the other players about like what ability they chose and things like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Okay, so how many of us have points in command, consort, or sway?
Okay, let me pull this back up. I have 4 points spread evenly in half through insight. 2 in prowess. Or you said specifically which ones? Or like the general?
like do we all have something that's in a point either in command, consort, or sway?
I have 1 point in sway.
Okay.
But that's the only thing I have. In resolve.
Okay.
I've got I'm terrible at pronouncing words, so
Attune.
Attune.
Yeah.
Yes, I have 2 points in Attune.
Okay.
Yeah, so again, the first special ability is usually a good default choice if you can't decide on anything else. And yeah, that one just gives everyone one free extra in one of the social skills, essentially.
I mean, I think it would kind of make sense since we're making people buy things, unless we're just going up to them, throwing it at them, and then pulling money out of their pocket,
That would be kind
Yeah.
of funny.
which is like, it's a strange way to do business, but like, there are ghosts out there. No one can tell us we're wrong.
Yeah. I think, and so the character spread we have currently is Cutter, Hawker,
No,
Um,
Hound,
Hound.
Lurk, and a Whisper. Yeah, you don't have any social characters.
Oh, then yeah,
I mean,
maybe
Again,
Silver. It's a good idea, but not like we don't have to.
yeah, again, like, just because you're not playing a specialist social character doesn't mean that any of you can't just put points into social abilities. When I played this game, I played a Whisper who had a lot of points in command, so I was just forcing everyone to do what I wanted. But like right now, it also looks like none of you have a lot of points in those. So
I also feel like just a flat point is probably a real good idea.
just to start out with, maybe.
So that way we don't get caught out if, like, let's say one of us gets separated and it's like, oh, okay, Joe, you're separated. Some guy wants to stab you real bad until you tell him you don't want to get stabbed. And then you're like, oh, I want to attune to his aura and make him not want to stab me.
But what happens if I do want to get stabbed? What happens then?
Well, then you can sway him to stab you real good.
Oh my god.
Do that good stabbing, sir.
Oh my god.
Thank you for the stabbing. Please come again.
Please, sir, can I have
my
some
God.
more?
Sword acupuncture.
Please, I'm very
please.
hungry.
Right, so I took a point and put it in command.
I'm gonna probably do
Alright,
that
so-
myself, actually.
Silver tongue sounds like it's gonna be.
Yeah. Okay.
So we did pick that as the.
Yeah. So you get
Okay.
command, consort, or sway. 1
Okay.
point.
You think? I guess I'm asking the group. Do you want me to evenly distribute, or do you want me to just put another point in sway?
I want you to do literally whatever you think you're.
I think
Your character would do.
my thought is probably, to just have it so that I've got all of the skills that I'm sitting on. I at least start with the few that we have at the start. That I have 2 in each. I think would be a good start.
Okay.
Like,
rather than spreading it so evenly when we're a crew that has different strengths. Personally,
because like I'm gonna tell you right now, I will probably never put a single point into consort. Like, I don't care how much of a giant
That's
issue that
fair.
could lead me to,
That's fair.
because I think that like having that massive gap in like my ability will lead to more interesting story.
Yeah. And I mean, you're not gonna have like you're gonna gain points slowly enough that you can totally just put points into everything else before needing to put a single point into consort because you've run out of space. All right. And then crew upgrades is basically either special things for the hawkers, anything from your lair, like you can get a carriage, you can get a boat. It's hidden. You have special quarters. What does it say? Like, you can always expand it. Your lair includes living quarters for the crew. Without this upgrade, each PC sleeps elsewhere and is vulnerable when they do so. So either your lair is really just a clubhouse, or it is actually where you live and work. That's what quarters does. You could have a workshop, or you can increase your vault so you can store more coin in there. You could increase the quality of certain items, like documents that you have, that you might forge, gear that you have, implements, supplies, tools, whatever, right? And quality just means it's better and you get more dice when you roll with it. That's basically what quality does.
I'll say
Training-
right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, go ahead.
I'll say right now. I think Hawker's rigging sounds fucking dope.
Yep, I was thinking the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's like we all got our own little hip flask.
Yeah.
We all
right.
can just pull a dime bag out of our pockets, just out of our sleeve, real quick.
Yeah. It's like, you want to taste of the good stuff?
I got that good Jude.
All right, and you get one more.
Before I cut you off, you were talking about training.
Oh yeah, training is really just when you use downtime actions to train, which is one way to increase your abilities. You gain 1 XP to advance. If you have the appropriate training, you get 2. That's it. And then yeah, cohorts are extra minions.
So in like the lair and the training area, how many do we get?
You get 1 more that you can put in any of these.
So a total of 3. Gotcha. Okay.
A total of
yeah.
4.
Oh, 4. Okay.
You have 1 point in a secure layer, 1 point in resolve training. You have Hawker's rigging, and then
No. The other point.
yeah,
Mm.
and then you get 1 more upgrade.
Oh,
So-
so even the crew upgrades is a part of
Yeah.
the. Okay, gotcha.
So he did say something about the quarters. If you're not sleeping at the quarters, you are vulnerable elsewhere. I think that's pretty relevant to what we're gonna need.
Oh yeah.
You guys want quarters then?
I
Um,
totally support it. I do. I want to
Okay.
say I'm 100% down with this, but just so you know, Jimmy Tedesco will not sleep in the quarters. Only because of his obsession, which like it will lead him to be in more danger, but he's not mixing his personal life with you motherfuckers. This is work.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean,
makes
it's,
sense.
It's not gonna come up all the time, right? It's not gonna be like, oh, every time you walk to and from your lair, I have to roll if you get ambushed or something. But it's kind of like, oh, if one of the results of an entanglement or faction event is like one of you gets found and beaten up, it's probably the dude who's not secure in the lair, right? So
Probably good old Jimmy.
yeah.
Or if like I go out and it's like, oh, you guys went and you fought some of the crow people. Damn, there's Jimmy on the street. Sucks
Yeah.
to be Jimmy.
Yeah, exactly.
Stupid Jimmy.
Jimmy getting drive-by'd. But they just throw knives. They don't have guns. They just throw a lot of knives.
Just like a carriage pulled by these giant goats rolls by, and then all the windows drop down. People just throwing knives at a shop, and then it rolls past.
so
Oh god.
with the training, right?
Yo.
So since we have resolved clicked,
Mhm.
so when we train at the layer or so forth, it's a bonus to like a resolve being trained.
Yes.
Okay.
If you look at your character sheets, you can see. Hold on. Yeah. Over every stat and over where is it? Mark XP. Underneath your special abilities, you have a Mark XP section. There you have playbook advancement.
Mhm.
Right? You have these notches. And what this is whenever you get an XP, you put it into one of these, either an insight, prowess, resolve, or your playbook. And when this fills up, you empty it and you get one more thing. So one more dot in the appropriate category or one more special ability.
Okay.
And when you train, you usually get 1 dot in the category, but if you train resolve, you get 2, or not dots, notches, right? You get 2 when you train for resolve.
Okay. So if we were to change that to, let's say we moved it from resolve to personal, then we can kind of pick, or is that something different?
No, personal is the playbook.
Okay.
You can also train your special abilities.
Okay.
Okay, that makes sense.
And you don't really change it. It's like you just add more and more as time goes on.
I see.
All right. Since we're close to needing to end, I would say we do all the rest next time, and the rest is really just background and connections and things like who are your contacts, what factions are you good with, what factions don't like you, etc. You pick a hunting ground on the map and you pick where your lair is and all that. We can do that next time, as and it hopefully shouldn't take that long, and then we can lead that into playing.
I know we can work out the scheduling and DMs, but I did want to say that it's just the next, because I know you had it set for like Tabletop Tuesday is like the thing. Next Tuesday only, I will be out of town.
Okay.
But otherwise, for the rest of July up to like the last week of July, I'm open on Tuesdays.
Okay. Yeah, how's it look for everyone else?
Yeah, I'm free.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check scheduling, but I will definitely let y'all know if I don't make a Tuesday.
All right. Like, the reason I also picked this game is because it's relatively lenient when people can't make it.
Oh, to work people in and out.
Yeah. It's just because typically the single game session is score plus downtime. And if someone isn't there, it just means they're busy with something else in game and only the rest of the crew goes on a score or so, right?
Yeah.
So it's relatively easy to do that. All right. We didn't completely finish everything, but the rest is really just background and flavor and putting your crew into the setting, which might be better once you know the setting a bit more. Yeah. So we can also talk through this on DMs, etc., to kind of establish a bit more. It might be useful actually to just clear background questions and setting questions through DM. It's probably easier to go specific questions that way. But other than that, we are basically done. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So
Good job, everybody. We did it. Session 0.
Awesome.
Nice.
So we now have a crew of hawkers with 4 scoundrels ready to sell some drugs, I guess.
Let's go.
Yeah, drugs.
Yeah, drugs. All right. Okay. Then why don't you go through and just quickly shout yourselves out again? Who are you? What do you do? Do you have anything planned?
I'm Babu_Chan. You can find me at twitch.tv/Babu_Chan. I do cursed shit. I'll probably be live tomorrow. I will definitely be live on Sunday with Sunday service. It'll be longer. It'll be rawer. It'll be more cursed. That's it.
We just doing left or right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah, again, I'm it's twitch.tv/Soul the Internet. Twitter's Soul_OTI because they wouldn't let me put all of the letters in it. This week, kind of up in the air, but potentially Cat Girl VTuber model soft debut.
Ooh.
That's a thing. Also, I have to do an ASMR stream as a marbles punishment from a marbles. That's gonna happen probably sometime this week as well.
All right. Joe.
Let's see. Like I said in the beginning, I'm Arachno Joe. You can find me just Arachno Joe, one word, on Twitch and on Twitter. All the usual good social meds. As of right now, I'm actually sick. I unfortunately have a very bad ear infection, and unfortunately with the already problems with one of my ears, I'm almost deaf in one ear, unfortunately.
Ooh.
Like everyone's been talking to the left side of my headphones, and it feels like someone turned down the volume on the right side of my headphones. But I have some of them good drugs inside me right now, so I'm getting much better, and I'm hoping to be able to come back to streaming in a couple more days. I am right now playing through bit of a hot take here, because I know a lot of people have their thoughts and issues on this game, but it's actually one of my personal favorites. Honestly, I'm replaying through Cyberpunk, and I'm looking forward to playing just more and more of it. Like I said, I enjoyed playing through the game. I know it's broken, and I'm like, I don't care. It's fun. And yeah, just gonna be playing more Cyberpunk once I fully get better.
Awesome. Yeah, do get better. Wish you speedy
Thank you,
recovery.
appreciate it.
All right,
All
cool.
right, so you can find me on Twitter at Kumachatka. I'm currently on a manager arc. I'm overseeing some talents. Currently manage 4 people. Establishing an agency or group. So stay tuned for that.
Awesome. All right, and I have been your game master, and I have some more BioShock later on this week. Haha.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank the awesome crew here, the awesome scoundrels, for being so engaging and being an awesome group here.
Journal.
Oh,
Thank
someone
you for
followed.
being GM and giving us the opportunity
Yep,
to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking forward to
And also, Doey, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the guild. Hope you'll join us for many adventures. More relevant than ever now. All right. I suggest we look for someone to raid. Does anyone know someone? Or let me look through my list. If there's anyone...
I mean, Jinx is up. I feel like we all know Jinx.
Yeah.
I actually do not know who Jinx is.
Well, then you will
There's
know.
only one way to find out.
All right.
You're gonna learn.
All right, so let's do that.
Apexy.
/raid super_Jinxie. All right, do we have a raid message?
Hold on, I'm already working on that.
Joe with the expert raid messages, as always. But yeah, thank you everyone for being here. We will continue this not next week because Soul is busy, and I do want to finish the creation and session 0 with everyone present so you all have a say. But in 2 weeks, right? I would say Tuesday in 2 weeks, we will continue with the scoundreling and see what kind of mischief these people will get up to. Either one is fine with me. Either raid message is fine with me. Raids in the dark sounds. Blades in the dark raid. Okay, let's go with that. I like that.
Hell yeah, it's like we're threatening Jinx.
Ah, let's go. All right. So yeah, once again, thank you everyone. I wish you all a good morning, evening, day, night, wherever you are. Stay hydrated, take care, and bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.